I will take the ring to Mordor. Though I do not know the way.
I will help you bear this burden, Frodo Baggins, as long as it is yours to bear.
If by my life or death I can protect you, I will. You have my sword. And you have my bow.
And my axe.
Carry the fate of us all, little one. If this is indeed the will of the Council, then Gondor will see it done.
Mr. Frodo's not going anywhere without me.
No, indeed, it is hardly possible to separate you, even when he is summoned to a secret council, and you are not.
Wait! We're coming too! We'll have to send us all tied up in a sack to stop us.
Anyway, you need people of intelligence on this sort of mission. Quest. Thing.
Well, that rules you out, then.
9 companions. So be it. You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring.
Right. Where are we going?
The 2001 film, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, brought J.R.R. Tolkien's 1954 novel to the big screen. This scene is the moment that 9 wildly diverse representatives of Middle-earth are bound in fellowship for a common cause. Interestingly, in the book, Tolkien describes the group as a company far more than a fellowship. Company derives from the Latin words with and bread, as in someone you share bread with, such as a co-traveler or a member of a group that has a shared purpose. While a lot of companies say that their purpose is to serve customers, some do a better job than others at demonstrating it. Claire Bristowe's Connecting with Customers program is proof that when an entire organization works together in service to a common goal, the outcomes can be extraordinary. Recently recognized as the CX Leader of the Year at the International Customer Experience Awards, Claire helps Aegon hit the target year after year. This week on Next in Queue, we discuss innovative customer engagement strategies, the role of fun in finance, customer-centric culture and mindset, a legal team's engagement with customers. It's not what you think. Recognition and awards in CX, and future initiatives and continuous improvement. Let's get to it. Next in queue today, I have Claire Bristowe. Claire, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Rob. Thank you for having me.
As some people might recognize, you are joining me from across the pond.
I am, yes. Was it the accent?
It was most definitely the accent, and I enjoy listening to it. Claire, you lead the Connecting with Customers program at Aegon. Tell us exactly what Aegon is.
Yeah, okay. So Aegon is what we would call a life and pensions provider. So we provide products that will help people with their life and their future investments, but also with their pension and their future retirements. But we used to be part of Transamerica, so you might be more aware of them.
I am aware of them. Yeah. So
Yep.
if you think investments, if you think retirement,
Yep.
that's what Claire's company.
Pensions, bonds,
Yeah.
ISAs, those kind of things. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And I should mention, Claire,
Yes.
you won International CX Leader of the Year.
I did. Yes.
Holy
And
cow. Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. And it still feels a little bit surreal when people say that. I'm like, did I? But I was definitely there. So I definitely have the award on my desk downstairs.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'll come back to that. I
Okay.
do want to learn more about your CWC program, connecting with customers.
Yes.
This is not your standard CX program, but it is
No.
award winning. So tell me about it. What is it?
Yeah, so I feel like it's my professional calling, as I put it when I talk about it now, because I genuinely get so much like motivation and I'm so passionate about it, which I hope comes through today. And like you said, it is a CX program, but it's a little bit different. So focus is on improving a customer-centric mindset, making sure that we're demonstrating customer-centric behaviors. And when you hear people saying put customers at the heart of everything we do, are you actually doing that? And I can confidently say, yes, we do, because we physically bring the customer into our business for multitude of things. So innovation days, user testing, but also for things like live game shows, customer panels, interactive focus groups. So just things you don't normally hear of. And it's been running for 5 years now. So when we release this, it'll actually be the same month as our 5th birthday. And for that, we're doing something called a customer versus colleague quiz. So we are actually going against our customers, which is something we should never do. But we're doing it in a fun way. And so I think that's why it's been so successful in the CX industry, because through improving a cultural and a mindset behavior of being customer centric in every department of our business, we're doing better for our customers because people care more. They understand that every single person in Aegon plays a part in that. And they also know what their impact is if they're not considering customers. So yeah, it's a bit different. It's very fun. It's a little bit crazy, but it gets results. So it's something I'm extremely proud of.
Normally, when I think of finance, I do not think of fun. It seems very serious, right?
Well, I
That
get
future
defensive when
planning.
people say that to me because I've only ever worked in finance and it's very fun. Come join us.
I mean, maybe. Well, I'll think about that invitation. I wonder though, like if you've been in this so long and you're having fun and it sounds like you really are doing some really fun things, is that you leading that? I mean, where does that come from within the organization?
Well, it literally came from the top. So our CEO, Mike Holliday Williams, said to my line manager, Ian O'Connor, that he wanted a CX process, CX program, which helped us to embed a customer-centric culture. And that was the full objective, Rob. He literally just said, make us more customer-centric. But what that gave me was, he gave me freedom. He said, do what you need to do to hit this objective. And the first thing I thought is actually what you just said. It's that financial services is heavily regulated. It's very serious. You know, what we do has an impact on somebody. It's not something you can take lightly. But how do I get people to engage in something else, you know, on top of their job? And so from day one, fun has been our key word, and humor and interactive and immersive and things that you just wouldn't expect. And I think because people get the chance to step out of their day job, come along to, we had a cinema watch party with some popcorn and a red carpet, but we actually watched back a roundtable I did with some customers about their thoughts on future investments. They want to do it. They're like, this is a nice break in my day and I'm going to learn something. So yeah, it came from the top down. And to this day, every quarter, I have a one-to-one catch up with every member of our executive team about what's going on in their function, how I can support them, what the program's doing. But twice a year, I also go to the all exec meeting and I talk to them about the plan and the roadmap and what do you want included and what have we delivered. So engagement from the executives from day one has been like, I couldn't really ask for anything better.
Love that. You know, I think we hear about terms like gamification when it comes to getting motivation, but it really sounds like you've taken something that a lot of companies thinking about, well, how can we automate this? And you've instead gone the other direction and taken a very human approach
100%.
to gamification. Literally, you're playing games, right?
We've got a Monopoly board, and instead of the street names, it's got the department names. And I wish I had it to
love it.
prove that that is real, but I promise you, Rob, that's real.
So I want to ask, like, what is the most unexpected or unique thing that your program has come up with to present to customers to get them engaged? I know you name dropped a number of different things, but like if you had to pick one to say this one, this was the grand prize winner, what was that?
Oh, so do you know, can that one be extended to two?
I'll allow it.
Okay. So thank you. So one is actually really recent in that we have created our internal short reel platform, and it's originally named #customer talk. We're not going to talk about where that's come from. But what that basically is it's an internal, like we knew when you go home at night, what do? People scroll through reels. That's what they're doing nowadays. So how do I convert something that I know people already do, they're already aware of, it's already a practice, and make it into a connecting customers format? So I worked with a team of promoters that we've got, which we can maybe speak about in a little while. And I said, come up with some new concepts. And they pitched it and I loved it. And so we recently did a customer talk campaign for National Customer Contact Day. And what we did is we got those who speak to customers directly to give us a short video about the best customer experience they think they've delivered. And then we got those that were indirect customer to talk about their best interaction with a contact center or a customer care center. And we had something like over 834 hits on that. And we had over like 40 videos. And, you know, that might not sound like a massive number, but people don't like self-recording, but the engagement was through the roof. And our next one, which is a spoiler alert for Aegon colleagues, is actually on National Biscuit Day, which is very financial services, but we've called it Biscuits and Best Bits, and we've already sent it out to some customers, and they have sent me some videos where they tell us their Aegon Best Bits and their favorite biscuit. And so we'll see how that goes, but I think that's one where, you know, as soon as we ask these customers, my phone was pinging, my emails are pinging, and now I know what loads of people's favorite biscuits are. Also, it's just so nice to hear what their best bits are, and it really drives staff and encourages them. But the other one, which I would be silly not to mention from a customer perspective, is we recently did our first ever live focus group with our whole legal department, where we sent out our terms and conditions document, which is complex, obviously regulated, the wording sometimes a bit difficult. And I went out to our customer panel and I said, I need some volunteers, ideally 3. 64 customers applied for a 3-person gig. And so I think just by humanizing, which is the word that you used earlier, by having these 3 people read this document and sit in front of our whole legal department and say, I don't like this, I do like this is clear, they took away so much from that to go, we thought that was okay, but actually the thing that we thought they were bothered about, which was the language, they were less bothered about than the layout. But if I had asked the legal team at the beginning, what do you think they're not going to like, they wouldn't have said the layout. And that's why it's just so important to bring customers in, because on another session, I went to use a testing, watch and feedback session. So I was just observing, I was interested in this. It's something we run monthly, and they were showing them a new website. And so everyone's sitting there going, they're going to like the links. They might not like how that's laid out. They can't find that portal. This lady, for 28 of her 30 minutes, told us that she didn't like the color scheme. And so it's just, you know, stop assuming, start asking, like what you think a customer will or won't like is very regularly not correct and isn't something they're that bothered about. So I know I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I think they're just 2 really good examples of where bringing customers in, using their voice, humanizing who you're delivering for, and having them have a say has such an impact, but also how much they want to be involved.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to get to the meaty stuff, but first, what's your favorite biscuit?
Well, my favorite biscuit, I don't know if you have these in America, but they're called chocolate hobnobs.
Definitely do not have
You
those
don't
in
have
America.
hobnobs. They're like an OT, like, do you have digestives?
I mean, probably we don't call them that if we do.
Well, you guys are missing out. You need to get on Amazon now and order some chocolate hobnobs, and you will not regret that decision.
Okay, folks, chocolate hobnobs. You
Yeah.
heard it here. Go order some. Okay, now to the meaty stuff. What I hear a little bit is that you take customer experience and approach it a little bit through a marketing lens. And I think that happens with some organizations, but not all. Is that something that you've thought of? Like, how does this relate to marketing? Or have you talked to marketers about some of the things that you're doing and had them go, oh, wow, that's awesome?
Yeah, so we are actually based in the marketing function, which again,
Mhm.
I think sometimes is different because CX normally is an operational department. And we actually do a lot to help with things like new business, highlighting that this is something different we do in comparisons to other financial services providers. And we regularly do things like floor walks for new schemes, and we'll present to them and say, this is what else we're doing. We're different. We mean customer centricity. We demonstrate it. We work on it. And so we do quite a lot to help our commercial value by being a USP that our competition don't have. And that's a bit of a risk me doing these podcasts, actually. Like, please don't start it. But obviously it's just a way of us demonstrating that we take CX a little bit differently. And a big part of that is mindset and behaviors, as well as just having that one team that focus on CX with people that champion it. We don't have one team. We have a business who are customer centric.
I also hear a little bit, think of often we hear like a voice of the customer, right? And
Yes.
so obviously you're talking about, hey, we're talking directly to customers, but are you talking to other people besides customers to form kind of this CX mentality that you've got going on, this customer centric mentality?
So we do regularly invite external guests. So we've had quite a lot of I don't know what the right word is, like experts. We've had like John Sills, Linda Moore, Martin Hill Wilson. So we've had some really big names come on and do that. We've also had the wonderful Ian Goldin on a podcast. So we do bring in like industry experts and say, these are people who know CX and they've got real stories to tell. And a lot of the time when they come in and they say, these are the things that you should do, here's some really good tips, we do a lot of them already. And so it's quite motivating to hear that we're in a strong position. But I also am part of the Women in CX community, which for any women listening, sign up, because you can bounce off ideas with them. You can go and say, I'm thinking of doing this. What do other CX people think? And just like building your own network, because although I joked about it a moment ago, I'm truly passionate that everybody should be delivering good customer experiences because I'm a customer for all these other companies. And so I'm not protective over talking about what we've done and how we've embedded it, because as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason you shouldn't do it. There's like no harm in giving it a go.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I have to take us back a moment. Your legal team
Yes.
is listening to customers. That seems so foreign to me.
They
And
loved it.
is that like, it just blows my mind that you're getting a group of attorneys listening to customers talk about the layout of something. Aside from the layout, I'm wondering, like, what takeaways did that team have and how eager are they to do something like that again?
Oh, yeah. So from an eagerness perspective, we actually did a feedback survey afterwards because it was the first time we'd done like an interactive focus group. And my colleague, Colin Adams, who's going to kill me if I get this number wrong, it was something like 92% of attendees wanted another one.
Wow.
And took away like huge benefits. There was some really clear actions listed on, specific takeaways from that. But also a lot of it was like the holistic thing. So sometimes I think we focus a lot, like I said, on the language and how we say things, but people are okay with that if it's in a format that they can digest. And so having like a text heavy document, they're not going to read that. But if you're able to break that up with a couple of images and a little bit of color, actually the amount of feedback we had was more, could you put that in an icon? Could you put a logo next to that section? And it wasn't, don't write it like that. It was, help me read it better.
Mm.
And so, yeah, the engagement from day one for legal has actually always been really, really high. And it's interesting because this program was originally created, everybody was like, that's for customer care. That's great. I was like, customer care is the least function this is for, because they speak to customers. This is more for those of you that don't. And, it is competitive, but at the moment, I would say our two most engaged functions are legal and technology. So the people who are building the systems, who sit behind the scenes, but they turn up, they show up, they ask questions. I recently had a colleague, David Carson, who's working on multi-factor authentication, and he went and done a survey with the customer panel to find out, what do you think of MFA? How many of you have got a mobile phone? What do you need from us? And that's like game changing, to actually have somebody who isn't even in charge of the program going, we need to be including customer insights. I'm going to get it and I'm going to bring it to that meeting. And we're actually going to be doing a lunch and learn on that quite soon, because that's exactly the kind of thing we want, and the kind of people who aren't direct to customer going, but I know my 3-layer back thing is going to have an impact on customers. So let me ask them before I deliver it what they want, rather than delivering something and spending time, money, and effort to fix a problem that I could have addressed before I even released it.
It sounds like you have really, truly embedded this mindset within the culture of the company, because when you have other working groups automatically thinking about how this impacts the customer and wanting that kind of input before we move forward with something, like that's just all the evidence that you need.
Yeah, and even more so, right, when I'm not on the call. Like,
Right.
I'm not there. Someone comes to me after the effect and goes, on a call earlier today, this was mentioned. Have someone mentioned it to you? Did you know? And I'm like, no. But then we do something about it. It's even more so when I'm not there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wanted to come back and ask you about this award,
Yes,
International CX Leader of the Year.
I know,
So,
right?
what was going through your mind when you found out that you were going to receive this award?
So my colleagues Lizzie Wallen and Ian O'Connor, they will back me up here, that when we sat in that room waiting for the announcement, my confidence level was about 1 out of 100, because I really thought I'd messed up my presentation. I'd read the times wrong. I'd got something ready for 25 minutes. I only was able to do 15, and I just thought, you know what, I haven't done this, but I did my best. I tried to get my messages across. And so when they told me, like they announced, oh, Claire Bristowe, I actually had to stop myself from crying. And there's a video in this room of hundreds of people where I'm literally like, what? And then like walking up to the stage, I'm like trying to suck it all in, because I am passionate about what I do. Like, I get excited about coming to work. Like, I am not one of those people that goes on holiday for a week and dreads going back to work. I'm ready. Like, I'm looking forward to it. And so to me, it wasn't even just having the title of International CX Leader of the Year. It was the recognition from some really like impressive people that they felt like I deserved it. And I think in that moment, it just hit me that I am proud of what I've done. That is one heck of an achievement. And I just was not expecting it.
Yeah, it is a heck of an achievement for sure. This isn't your first award, maybe your first award like that, but I'm wondering,
Yes.
like, as these awards kind of pile up, like, do you feel like pressure to deliver for the next year? I mean, is there a pressure as you've kind of set this standard to take it up a notch every year?
I mean, I guess there should be, but I think genuinely, because of like my enthusiasm and working with Lizzie now, who's the other permanent person on the program, like we just brainstorm ideas. We're like, that sounds fun, let's do it. It's more, we just do new things and love it. Like, we've got a couple of things coming up this year, titles, things like Insight in Bloom. And you've got a bit of, do you have Blind Date in America?
Blind Date, is that a TV show? Probably. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
So it's like where a host gets matched with like a contestant, but our version of that is a host getting matched with a point of a journey in the customer's life cycle. And so it's just like fun things, genuine fun things. And I don't think we're driven by, will this win us an award? I know we're driven by, will our colleagues like this and will they show up? And I think because they ultimately do, that helps us with our awards tally. But it's definitely not, it's not the aim. I don't sit down with Lizzie in January and go, how are we going to win awards this year? I'm like, how do we keep this fresh? How do we keep it exciting? How do we do something new? And how do we use what people are doing now to make sure we keep hitting this home and it doesn't become another thing? It keeps being fun and fresh. Because actually, and this might sound a bit big-headed, but every year since launch, our engagement has gone up, and we've got circa 2,500 colleagues at Aegon. But in less than 5 years, we've had over 35,000 hours of engagement, and nothing has been mandated. So people have chose to show up for those 35,000 hours.
I love that. So I have to ask you about this Insights in Bloom, but the question might sound a little funny.
Okay.
Will Turner or Legolas? Which is your favorite?
Oh, Legolas, 100%.
Okay.
Oh my
Why?
God, because I fancied him since he came out in Lord of the Rings. And also I met Orlando Bloom. I don't know if you know this. When I was a popcorn girl, he came into my cinema for a preview of Pirates of the Caribbean, and I forgot how to talk, which you would never guess from this podcast.
Love that. I love that. Okay, first of all, popcorn girl. I assume you're just serving popcorn to people, right? You're
Yes,
working
that
the
was my
counter.
first job. Yeah.
And when you forgot to talk, or after you forgot how to talk,
Yeah.
what was the I should have said that went through your mind after the fact?
Well, selfies weren't a thing there, but in reflection, I would have got a selfie. But I should have got his autograph. Like, I was the biggest geek. I fancied the pants off him, but I fancied him more as an elf than I did as a person, which is probably quite telling about me as a person.
Okay, so now I'm going to come back to our Insights in Bloom.
Yeah.
Are these blooming flowers, or are you going to have Orlando's face as
Well, that would be
part?
nice.
Yeah,
Maybe I should use that as part of the marketing campaign. I'd certainly get some people's engagement just by having him on the poster, wouldn't I?
You probably would, yeah.
Unfortunately,
You would
it's a little bit.
certainly get more popular with a particular demographic, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe I should try that. But no, unfortunately, Orlando Bloom won't be present. But what we're doing is summer parties. So it'll be afternoon tea. So we'll have some scones and tea. And we're inviting in customers to basically do speed dating. So they will meet 8 different colleagues in our 3 main locations, and we will live user test something with them. So that might be a letter. Does this sentence make sense? That might be a screenshot of a web page. Where would you click if you needed to know this? So quite quick, but an opportunity to get insight in real time from 8 different customers about something they're either already working on or something they've considered, does this need changing? But by doing it in an afternoon tea kind of format, and having them in our gardens and having them outside in the fresh air in summer, it just adds a more relaxed energy to it. And I think when you go there, you don't think of, I'm the Aegon, I'm the customer. You're generally I'm going to go and chat to a couple of people and I'm going to leave more informed.
I think afternoon tea with some scones in a garden sounds lovely, regardless of what I'm looking at. So yeah, I can see how that would work for you. I now wish I was a customer, but I'm pretty sure I'd have to move to make that happen, and I'm not quite prepared for that.
Yeah, that's a big commitment for an afternoon tea. I could just get you on Amazon again and you could order a scone. An afternoon tea box for one.
I like that idea. Claire, this has been such a fascinating conversation. I think a lot of times when we talk about CX, we focus on the contact center, like you mentioned. Yes. And while that is an important and ever-present piece of the customer's experience, I love that we're having a chance to talk about some of the other touch points that often go unnoticed. And I really love that you've probably brought forth some ideas for some people listening to this show going, well, I never would have thought of that. So thank you so much. If someone wanted to reach out to you and pick your brain about their CX initiatives. Is LinkedIn the best place to do that?
Yes, I would definitely say so. And I'm always happy to share CX knowledge because I learn as much as I share. So yeah, happy to be connected to on LinkedIn.
Well, Claire, we'll put the link to your LinkedIn profile down in the
Thank
show
you.
notes. People feel free to reach out to Claire and say hello. Send her AI pictures of her with Orlando Bloom. I'm
That's
sure
the
she
only
would
way I will
appreciate that.
reply. Let's make that clear.
Thank you so much for joining Next in Queue.
Thank you for having me, Rob. It's been lovely.
Next in Queue is produced by me, Rob Dwyer. Theme music is courtesy of Big Red Horse. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with at least one person. Word of mouth is the best way for people to discover new content. And thanks for listening.